On Larry King Now, rap superstar Big Sean on his newest album, Dark Sky Paradise.
A lot of dark times in my life, falling out with a lot of friends I had my whole life, and you know, it was a very dark time for me, but at the same time, coming from Detroit, just like how you come from Brooklyn, you know, the life we live is still paradise amongst a lot of other situations.
On his boss and mentor, Kanye West.
He saw the potential, you know, and that's very hard to do, especially when you're caught in your own world. So come on, like, that guy is incredible, man. Now, I'm not just saying that for me, but he changes the world in many ways.
Plus, what was it like recording with girlfriend Ariana Grande?
We've been friends for a while, so it kind of just progressed from there, you know. Been friends for a couple years. She's great, though. She's awesome. She's great to work with. She's great to just, you know.
How serious is the relationship?
It's pretty serious, yeah.
It's all next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. We're in New York City, overlooking snow-covered New York City. Cold, too. Since his 2011 debut album, Finally Famous, hit shelves, rapper and producer Big Sean has taken the music world by storm. 8 Billboard Hot 100 singles to his name, including hits Dance and My Last, as well as collaborations with artists like Jay-Z, Kanye West, Nicki Minaj, and Chris Brown. Big Sean is back again with a much-anticipated third studio album, Dark Sky Paradise. Dark Sky Paradise is available now. What do we mean by Dark Sky Paradise?
First of all, that was a hell of an intro. I appreciate that. You really make me feel great.
I don't picture paradise as having dark skies.
Yeah. Well, that was just the mode we were in. It fit the music. I feel like once people hear the album, they'll see why we came up with that title and why it fit the most. But, you know, just like a lot of people, I was going through craziness, man. You know, in and out relationships, a lot of dark times in my life, falling out with a lot of friends I had my whole life. And, you know, it was a very dark time for me, but at the same time, coming from Detroit, just like how you come from Brooklyn, you know, the life we live is still paradise amongst a lot of other situations, you know what I'm saying? So that's something I still appreciate, I never take for granted, but it definitely fit the music.
So it's a message album.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there a song called Dark Sky Paradise?
There's a song called Dark Sky and there's a song called Paradise.
Aha.
Yeah, we had to do it like that for you.
Is it harder when people write autobiographies or sing songs that are personal? Is it harder to kind of expose yourself?
No, but this album I have really put it all out there. It's songs like you know, I feel like this album I really just concentrated on doing what I wanted to do. I feel like I've always listened to, you know, there's always been a label in my ear. There's always been somebody, we need this type of song, this type of song. I just didn't care about that this time. I was like, I'm gonna do this my way. I'm gonna make the music I wanna make. And, you know, the first single from the album, you know, obviously wasn't meant to be a radio song. It has like 50 cuss words in the chorus, you know what I mean? I don't F with you, so it's like, you know, I just realized when you do music from the heart, music people can relate to. That's the best way to do it.
So there were no suits involved over you saying, don't do this, don't do that?
We did it how we wanted to do it, but, you know, and there are other songs on the album. There's a song, Win Some, Lose Some, I had on there that I wrote in 2012, but it was so personal. I was talking about, you know, there's so many things I was going through, so many from relationships to just the perils of going through, you know, what people go through and what I was going through. And
why have you had so many tough relationships?
I don't know, man. That's a good question.
That's why I asked it.
Yeah.
Are you in demand a lot? You like women?
Well, yeah, I like women. Yeah, you like women?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Are you willing to take more chances now?
Of course.
Recording? Is that because you've had success?
No, I just think it's from experience, you know? And obviously, I'm still new in the game, new in this music industry, but, you know, once you've done something, you don't want to just keep doing the same thing over and over. You want to expand. You want to, you know, I feel like that's the difference between somebody who's hungry and somebody who's satisfied. I'm hungry, you know, I'm focused.
Still hungry.
Still hungry.
A
Hungrier
Dark
than ever.
Sky Paradise you recorded in your house.
Yeah.
Why not a studio?
It was the best decision I ever made. I feel like, look, when you like get to live with your music, like you know, in your living environment, you get to really live it out. You could wake up at 4 a.m. in the middle of the night. You could get up at 9 a.m. You can get up whatever time, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about. See, for me, I used to have to like get dressed for the studio. I can't be walking out the house looking crazy. I had to like be straight, fresh, you know what I mean? In the house, you don't have to worry about anything. You ain't even.
Your newest single, One Man Can Change the World, pays tribute to your grandmother. I'm going to have a tough time explaining. She was one of the first ever black female captains in World War II.
Yeah.
In the Wax?
Yeah, in World War II.
Wow.
Yeah, she was a true hero, you know. Probably the most important person I met. Not only was she one of the first female black captains in World War II, though, she was a female police officer in Detroit. You know,
Wow.
She was a teacher, a counselor.
She tough?
She was tough, man. You know what I mean? And she taught me, she was the best grandma of all time. You know,
She raised you?
She raised me. Her and my mom raised me. And I was lucky that, and my dad too, everybody was a part of my life. But my grandma, you know, she would have the home-cooked meals every day after school, which it was crazy because I used to take for granted. You know, I used to be like, man, can we have pizza today, you know? But then now it's like I would give all the money in the world for those meals, you know what I mean? And she was the greatest, man. She's seen Hitler in her lifetime and she's seen Obama in her lifetime, you know what I mean? Wow. And that's just something to really, when you put in perspective like that, she's definitely one of the most important people. So I rapped about her on this song, One Man Could Change the World. And I wrote it about her before she passed. She just passed the holiday season. And I was just finishing my album right around the holiday season. I was gonna go play it for her, but she passed on December 20th. So I didn't get a chance.
For you?
Yeah, but it's cool. But John Legend like comes after I rap about her. John Legend sings the hook right after her, and I always say like she deserved to have John Legend sing.
Okay.
You know what I mean about her right after a verse about her. So.
How'd you hook up with Kanye West?
Being in Detroit, he was promoting his album at the time, and I had been doing this radio show every Friday. Man, I was on the grind. I mean, just like how you see the snow out here, I would drive through 6, 8 inches of snow every Friday, you know what I mean, after school, going down to the radio station. And I used to participate in a show called the Friday Night Cypher. So it would be like where MCs, they would battle rap each other, and whoever would win would get to rap one verse on air during the radio. So I did that every week from when I was 16 to 18, really. So I was really putting in work, and the only reason I did it was because I was selling my CDs around high school, and I wanted to expand. I wanted to sell them around all the high schools in Detroit.
Kanye West heard this?
Yeah, so anyway, Kanye was there promoting his album, and it was a Saturday morning. I was also a telemarketer, so I was cashing like my $140 check, you know what I mean, that I had every week, and one of my friends called me like, yo, Ye is down at the station, man. If you go down there and rap for him, he'll sign you. You know, I'm like, man, this sounds like some bull and whatever. So I hung up the phone, and I thought about it for a minute, and, you know, called him back and was like, you right, let's do it. So I went down there, and since I'd been doing that radio show, they let me in the station. They knew who I was. I lied and said I left my phone in the back office, and since I was just there the night before, so they let me in the building, and, you know, I knew where the artists were, so I got back there, got a chance to meet him, and, you know, told him I'm an aspiring MC, and I got a chance to rap for him on his way out.
And he signed you?
He didn't. It wasn't that easy. It took a couple years after that, but, you know, that's how we made our acquaintance. That's how we, you know, got introduced to each other.
More with Big Sean right after this. We're back with the enormously successful Big Sean. He's still on a rocket.
Hey.
You're still riding high.
Hey, you too, man. You look great.
Thank you. You
Yeah.
don't look bad yourself. Kanye West is in the news lately.
Yeah?
He said Rocker Beck should have given his best album Grammy to Beyonce.
Oh, boy.
What did you think of that?
Hey, man.
He likes to fool around, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's opinionated. And, you got to respect it, though. You know? I really got to listen to Beck's album to keep it 100 to see, you know, what I think about it.
What's Kanye like to work with?
He's great. He's definitely the most hardworking, just you know, attention to detail person when it comes to music, and that has carried over to my work even when I work by myself. You know, the stuff I learned from him, the lessons, you know, the hours. I'm talking about rewriting verses to just paying attention to production, just doing every single thing you can to make it the best you can. You know, I do that on my own, and that's something I learned from him.
Your first album was a commercial hit, Finally Famous. Mm-hmm. Your second album, Hall of Fame, didn't reach the same sales figures.
Yeah.
Was that a disappointment?
No, it wasn't a disappointment because I feel like it was a different type of album. You know, I was experimenting, doing something different. Obviously, I don't want to just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. You know what I mean? So I feel like it was a different type of album. You know, it was a different type of singles on there, different type of songs. But as an artist, I'm proud to do that because if you just do the same thing over and over, you know, you're not gonna last. And I feel like I got longevity, and I keep changing it up every single time. And you know, I just want to keep that momentum going. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there are always bumps, and then you always learn.
You always learn. You go through ups and downs.
Dark Sky Paradise includes the track Research, which features your girlfriend Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
The 21-year-old pop star. How'd you hook up with her?
We've been friends for a while, so it kind of just progressed from there, you know. I've been friends for a couple years. She's great, though. She's awesome. She's great to work with. She's great to just, you know.
How serious is the relationship?
It's pretty serious, yeah.
Is she going to get married?
Oh, man.
Come on.
Not right now.
Well, this way you can get a little Sean someday.
Yeah, eventually, you know, that's the goal.
What is Research about?
Research is cool because what I like about Research with Ariana is that it's not about me and her situation, but it's cool that we were able to talk about that. You know what I mean? When you hear it, you'll figure it out. It's something that...
I'm anxious to hear it.
Yeah, it's something that's just real. You know, I don't know any other way to describe it. It's not dark or anything. A lot of the whole album has a dark tone. This is one of the couple songs that, you know, isn't that dark, but the concept is still just as real.
You like working with her?
Yeah. Yeah, we worked on a few stuff. We worked on songs for her album.
She's 21. Right?
Yeah.
How old are you?
26.
So you got plenty of time.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You can't be asking me about marriage and stuff, man.
Well, I just asked. You know, I'm curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you spend a lot of time
together? Are you married?
Oh, I've been married a few times, but this one has been 18 years.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got two little kids.
Congratulations.
15 and 14. Wait till you're a father, you'll see.
Yeah, I bet.
Is it hard to maintain privacy? Did paparazzi follow you guys around?
Sometimes, but, you know, you can find your ways to keep it private.
You speak a lot about positive thinking and the like. Do you see yourself as a role model?
I don't know if I look at myself as a role model, but I know people consider me a role model, at least some people. And I just got to keep it real. Just, you know, we share how we think, how we feel. I've done like video vlogs where talking about just patience, what I believe in, how I believe in, you know, manifesting what you want, your goals, and just all sorts of things. And, you know, some people pick up on it and really appreciate it.
You had fame early. That can sometimes not turn out well when you get a little too much too soon.
Yeah, sometimes it turns out great.
You never had that affect you?
Nah, because I always, you know, it didn't hit me that early, and I've definitely been through times where I'll never forget, you know, where I was at McDonald's, you know, paying with change out of my pocket, you know, where it was times where I was spending my last $40 on studio sessions, you know what I mean? It was times where, you know, my parents didn't have money for new clothes, new this, new that. I had to go out there and figure it out on my own, you know what I mean? And those are the things that at least made me who I am. And, you know, I take every morning I wake up where I see a certain view or, you know, wherever I'm at in the world, no matter how tired I am, I look out the window and I'll be like, man, this is better than anything
That's
else.
great. You never forget where you came from.
No, never. Just like you'll never forget Brooklyn.
No, never forget it. I left Brooklyn, but Brooklyn never left me.
Straight up.
So success didn't change you at all?
Hell no. No.
Good man. When we come out,
Well, maybe it changed me for the better. You know, I'm definitely not the same person I was. I'm definitely a better version of the old me. So
we'll be right back with Big Sean. Don't go away. His new album is Dark Sky Paradise. He's Big Sean. What an incredible success story. In the cover story from this month's Complex magazine, you state how your upbringing helped you become more well-rounded as an artist. You said, I take pride in being able to hop on a song with Eminem and Kanye or Jay-Z, and then being able to hop on a Fall Out Boy song. Complex magazine, February 2014.
yeah.
Fall Out Boy is a rock group, right?
Yeah, of course.
So are you spreading the wings?
Yeah, well, you know, I just do whatever I want to do. I really don't get caught up in what people say or, you know, how it's characterized as far as if this is underground, this is mainstream, this is pop, whatever. I don't really care. I just, you know, do what I like.
So you don't think about what genre you're in?
I think about what genre I'm in, but I don't let it dictate what I want to do. I mean, that's just whack if you know,
Is there
dictated by genres.
any outside artists out of rap and hip hop you'd like to work with?
Yeah, I mean, I could sit here all day and just say, you know, talk about all the artists I want to work with, but I'm down to work with anybody, you know, whether they're known, not known, as long as it's just good music. That's the most important.
What was the toughest part of making it in the business for you?
The toughest part...
I mean, at 16, you were doing radio Friday nights, right? You were a hustler.
Yeah, I was a hustler. The hardest part about making it in the business was just believing, you know, when it got hard or when it was just like, you know, when those times you get tested and you got to see the omens, you know, and just like the smallest situations, and you got to recognize how you are manifesting things and not get too frustrated. One of the biggest lessons I learned was patience. And, you know, with patience, you can approach situations with your best foot forward and not from a stressful standpoint or, you know, with a cloudy head. And I just feel like...
You're driven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All day. Yeah.
Jay-Z recently spoke about rap and hip-hop, and he said it's done more for race relations in this country than many prominent cultural figures. Do you agree?
Say that one more time.
That rap and hip-hop says it's done more for race relations than many prominent cultural figures. That the music...
Yeah. I can see that. I mean, just over the years, you've seen from Fight the Power to, you know, all sorts of things like that. But I can see that. People, you know, they have a heartbeat, man, and that heartbeat is, even your heartbeat is on a rhythm, you know, to music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
No,
and it's universal.
It is. It's universal.
And we're going to play a little game of If You Only Knew. I'll just throw some questions at you, okay?
All right, man.
Who's the first girl you ever kissed?
First girl I ever kissed.
Had to be in Detroit.
Yeah, I was in Detroit, kindergarten.
What was her name?
I think her name was, can't remember. I was like 4 years old, man.
Okay.
I do remember,
Was she 4 too?
Yeah, we were in kindergarten. Can't remember her name. Damn.
It's okay. She remembers you.
Yeah.
What's your proudest accomplishment?
Proudest accomplishment? Probably buying my mom a crib. Buying my mom a house was a big accomplishment for me.
In Detroit?
Yeah. Well, I moved her out of Detroit, you know, where we grew up in, and bought a house for her out in the burbs.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Song we'd be most surprised to find on your iPod?
I don't know. That's a good one. Song you'd be most surprised to find on my iPod.
Tell me Sinatra.
Stevie Wonder. I got some good Stevie. I don't know if that's surprising. That's not that surprising, though. You know, Sherry Moore. I got a whole bunch of this.
He's not bad.
No, he's great.
Thing you miss most about Detroit?
I don't really miss Detroit that much because I'm always back there.
Oh, you go back a lot?
I go back every, month and a half. Like I said, the house I bought for my mom and for my grandma and everybody was, I lived there too. It was like a family house. So I go back there for my charity every month and a half for the Sean Anderson Foundation. We're doing stuff all over the city. So we have a good time, man. But one of the things I appreciate about the D is, you know, just all the food spots. You know, it's food there that you can't get anywhere else, like Jet's Pizza, man, or Sweetwater Wings, or Coney Island. So
I like Detroit.
yeah.
Favorite city to perform in?
Detroit. Yeah.
What's the biggest splurge?
Biggest splurge?
Biggest thing you've spent money on? Well, the house for your mother, that's pretty big.
Yeah, the house for my mom. My house costs a little bit more than my mom's house, I'm not gonna lie. And, you know, that was a big splurge, but as far as this, you know, nothing like that splurging.
You like big cars?
I like cars. I don't have that many, but, you know, big cars. I came to a decision one time where I was like, okay, I might take this money and buy like the new Lambo or something like that. But then I was like, nah, I'd rather build a studio in my house and just put all the money in there. So I kind of splurge on stuff like that.
You handle your money well?
Yeah, of course.
What keeps you up at night?
That hunger, man. I don't know, you know, just focus, you know.
You're always climbing, right?
Never satisfied.
I see that, yeah. Who's the most underrated rap artist in the industry?
Me.
You're stranded on a desert island. What 3 things do you bring with you?
Stranded. 3 things? Can it be a person or no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I would bring her. Yeah, I could bring her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I definitely have her.
I give you permission. Okay.
Yeah, we start a whole new village, man.
That's right.
Yeah,
Little Sean's.
Yeah, and probably have let me see, probably my favorite book I would have on there, The Alchemist. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, great book.
Yeah, I love that book. And what else? I guess like computer or something, iPhone or Wi-Fi. I guess.
When we come back, we got a bunch of social media questions for our special guest, Big Sean. The new album is Dark Sky Paradise, available now. We'll be right back. We're back with Big Sean. His new album is Dark Sky Paradise. We have some social media questions.
Okay.
A-Rod,
I love those.
A-Rod Funny on Instagram. What's your best piece of advice for an aspiring rapper?
Quit while you're ahead, man. I was just playing.
Don't interrupt his career.
No. You know what? My advice is people would tell me that, so you got to take that advice and, you know, let it either destroy you or let it fuel you. You know, you got to have that faith.
B. Spencer 1313 on Instagram wants to know, what's it like to be famous? Does it ever get tiring?
I don't know. You know?
Well, are you enjoying fame? Some people...
Is this what fame is? I mean,
some people get famous and don't like it. They don't want to be interviewed. They'd rather not go out. Yeah.
Man, this is the best thing ever. I mean, if you want to talk about it like that, I mean, you know, for me, I get to do what I love to do, take care of the people I love, you know, help other people accomplish goals, and at the same time, just...
You know, it ain't bad.
Things. Yeah, it ain't that bad. You know?
Turin Sud tweets, we hear a lot about Kanye as a rapper. Describe him as a producer.
I think, you know, a producer of music, he's a producer of a lot of things. Music, clothes, just, I'm not saying this because I'm signed to him, man, but he's incredible, man. And he's one of the most caring people.
He's giving.
One of the biggest hearts. Man, he signed a kid from Detroit who he didn't know, and he took his time out to listen. First of all, anybody who can really spot, and man, obviously he saw the potential, you know, and that's very hard to do, especially when you're caught in your own world. So come on, like, that guy is incredible, man. Now, I'm not just saying that for me, but he changes the world in many ways, so.
Turin Sud tweets, love TKO123 on Twitter. How do you stay positive and grounded in the music industry?
You gotta have the right people around you, you know. No matter how high you get, you gotta keep those 2 feet grounded. You know, you gotta have somebody who's gonna bring you right where you need to be. And, you know, just make sure you're right with yourself.
Well said. B-Bod's Daisies tweets, what is something you do every day or something you try to do every day?
It's a crazy world out here, man. So I wake up, I try and meditate for at least for like 10, 15 minutes. I get my super I said in one of my last singles, I Don't Know If With You, I said life got me meditating like I'm in the Himalayas, you know.
Really?
Yeah, you gotta chill out sometimes, man. So I start my day quiet for a little bit, you know, at least 10, 15 minutes, just
Think about nothing?
think about nothing, concentrate, you know, on what you gotta do, things you trying to accomplish, and then you get to it. Yeah.
Maria Rux on Twitter. How are you coping with your grandma's passing, her impact on your life, and whether she was the main motivation for the album?
It's difficult. You know, honestly, I feel like, you know, the whole family, she was the backbone of my family. And I feel like it was a little selfish how sad we all were when she passed. I felt like she was 94 years old. She was in a wheelchair. She was in a lot of pain. So I was, you know, when I changed the way I thought about it, and I was like, man, I should be happy, just like how you happy when your family member graduates from college. I was happy for her that she graduated to like heaven, became like a beam of light somewhere, angel for somebody else, or, you know, she moved on like and wasn't in any more pain. So I was happy for her, but it was definitely hard.
When someone dies, the people you're sad about is for yourself, that you miss her.
Yeah.
You're happy for her.
Happy
right?
for her. But yeah, it's been hard, you know, but like I said, we've all been coping with it in different ways. But when I looked at it like that, I feel a lot better about it.
Was she your mother's mother or your father's mother?
My mother's mother.
And finally, Crave Case 928. When did you know you were skilled enough to make it as a professional rapper?
When I was 12 years old. When I was 12 years old, man, that's when I knew I wanted to be a professional rapper. And at least I thought I had the skills. I don't know if anybody else did, but all you really need to do is believe yourself first and foremost, and the rest will come.
What makes a good rapper?
Whatever draws people in, whatever keeps your interest, you know, stuff that doesn't.
Do you think about it all the time? Are you writing things in your head?
Yeah, I write things in my head. I don't write things on paper. When I first started, I used to write my lyrics down. And I remember the first session I had with Kanye, it was him and Common and a few other people, and you know, and then I, you know, was in studios with like Lil Wayne, and nobody was writing stuff down. And Jay-Z, so I trained myself to just kind of think of it in my head and just write it in my head and memorize it. And now it's a trained thing, so I could write raps anywhere. I could write a rap sitting here talking to you.
Give me a line.
Well, I haven't been writing a rap, but...
Well, you come out with a Larry rap.
Yeah, I got
you.
I got you.
My man. Big Sean, the new album is Dark Sky Paradise.
Yeah.
You can follow me on King's Things, on Twitter at King's Things, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, Larry, I gotta get you a copy, let you know what you think about it.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.